Hi, I'm Sara. Welcome back to my channel. Come shopping with me to Bicester Village and have a look at what I did buy and what I didn't buy as part of my luxury shopping trip. As you know, I'm trying to be really mindful with my consumption, but October was my birthday month, but I'm trying to be really conscious about my spending. So I went to Bicester Village with a few things that I wanted to purchase, and I made a list for myself, a little wish list, and I also allocated myself a set budget. My budget was about £500, and out of that budget I wanted to get a few basic items, but I also wanted to get something special to mark my birthday for myself. I really love Bicester Village. It's somewhere I tend to go maybe once or twice a year. They have amazing designer outlets and they have some really good prices that you can pick up luxury items at. And so it was really lovely to go as part of my birthday celebrations, have a look around and see what we could get. But what you'll see in this video are also things that I didn't purchase. There were a number of things that I saw. There were a couple of things that were on my luxury wish list that I've talked to you about previously. And so I always think it's good to see designer items in person, to be able to touch them and have a look at them and look at the quality and the fit, if it's clothing, so that you can make really informed decisions on whether you want to purchase any of these items. So let's have a look at what I bought and what I didn't buy. Please like and subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos, and let's get into it. So the first stop for us was Ralph Lauren. It's one of my favorite stores. I love their clothing. I really enjoy the brand, but I really hate paying full price for Ralph Lauren clothing. So Bicester Village is an outlet store and it has lots of current Ralph Lauren pieces. It has purple label Ralph Lauren as well if you're interested in that. Also has some really good basics. I went there looking for some jumpers and some tops in particular, and I found a few that I like, and I actually purchased 3 of them. They're brilliant for timeless classic basics, which I love, and I ended up spending about £336 in Ralph Lauren, and I bought 3 items which I'm going to show you now. So I did buy a few pieces from Ralph Lauren, and I'll pop some video footage in of me trying them on. I did try a few more items, but I didn't want to purchase them all. As I said, I had a set budget, and I'll take you through the pieces that I did buy. First of all, I bought this cream cotton knit sweater. It's just got the gold Ralph Lauren logo on the front, and it's got this really nice button detail at the top. I just love the colour. I love the style. It really stood out to me as a piece that would be long lasting in my wardrobe. I've got a number of these jumpers and they wash really well, so I was really pleased to pick this up. Price wise, I paid £125 for it, but I also got 20% off at the till. They were doing a special discount, which I think is still running until November. So if you are interested in going, I think you can get 20% off most of the brands until November, but check that out on the Bicester Village website. So this jumper should have been £179. It was reduced to £125 and I got an extra 20% off at the till. I also bought this top from Ralph Lauren. It is like a polo long sleeve with the button front. Looks really nice on. I'll insert a picture of me trying it on. And yeah, I just really like the colour and the fit of this. It's quite basic, but it fits my lifestyle really well. This was £155 originally, and it was marked down to £108, and I also got the 20% discount as well. The third piece I got from Ralph Lauren was this navy sweater, very similar to the cream one that I showed earlier, but it's got the polo Ralph Lauren logo rather than the Ralph Lauren sort of lettering. I love navy. I want to bring more navy into my wardrobe, and it just goes with a lot of things I've already got. I've already worn this jumper, so I haven't got the tag on it, but I think that one, I went to John Lewis the other day and I think I saw this jumper in there for about £185 or £200, and I would say I got it for probably £125, and then I got 20% off that as well. So again, a really good discount. And the final piece I got from Ralph Lauren was this sleeveless knit with like a, I don't know what you call this, like a polo neck front or like a cowl neck. It's really beautiful. Actually, it's like a gold fleck through like a khaki knit. I actually saw this jumper last year and I really wanted to buy it, but it was way too expensive for me, and I just thought I wouldn't wear it enough to justify that. It was £200, sorry, it was £219, and it was marked down to 120, and I then got 20% off that. So that was like saving almost, over £100 on this sweater, and I'm planning to wear it with like a green khaki green satin slip skirt that I've got, and I think it'll look really nice, but it'll also go really lovely with jeans. In the Bicester Village footage, I'm wearing a cap. I'm not wearing the best outfit for trying on clothes. I should have just worn like a plain white tee, and I probably shouldn't have worn a cap, but I had a cap on because I'd been to a spa in the morning and I had washed my hair and I hadn't dried it, and it was just all curly, and I just thought I'm just going to put a cap on, it's easier. And I had a pink cashmere roll neck on from M&S, which I love, but it just didn't go with things that I was trying on. So if my outfits look a bit off, don't judge me on that. It was just a poor choice of outfit for a shopping day where I needed to try things on. I did try on some other pieces in Ralph Lauren. I'll put some footage of that here for you. I really wanted to get the tracksuit, so I'm really into codes at the moment. I saw a lovely navy zip up half zip top and tracksuit bottoms, but I'm 5'9" and a little bit, and the tracksuit bottoms were just a little bit too short for me, so I didn't end up getting those. And I also tried on a couple of other things that I just didn't end up getting. And as I said, I had a budget in mind, so I was really happy with the purchases that I got from Ralph Lauren. Next, we went into the Fortnum Mason pop-up. Again, I love Fortnum Mason. Amazing hampers and food. I just love all of that kind of stuff. And as we head into the Christmas period now, it was great to see their pop-up. I've not seen it there before, so we went in and we had a look at the hampers, and it's definitely something that we're going to think about gifting to parents and things like that for the holidays. It's just the perfect place to pick up Christmas presents, whether it's chocolate, biscuits, tea. They do everything so nicely and they wrap it for you, and you can pick your hampers there as well at Bicester Village. We then went to Isabel Marant, and this is also one of my favourite designers. I haven't got any pieces from Isabel Marant, but I've really liked her clothing for a number of years now, and I've been tempted, but I've never actually purchased something. But as I said, I wanted to buy something special for my birthday, and I wanted to pick up a jacket. I'd been looking for something that could take me through sort of autumn, winter. You know, I've been interested in the Totem barn jacket. I've bought a coat from Marks and Spencer's that is very like that for a sixth of the price, so I'm happy with that. But I wanted something a bit more casual that was like a jacket that I could throw on with leggings or jeans that would keep me warm but also would be quite stylish. And as soon as I walked into Isabel Marant, I saw this jacket and I fell in love, so I had to purchase it. This is the jacket. I don't know if you can see it that clearly here, but it's sort of quilted. It's got this lovely round neck. It's got the big buttons that say Isabel Marant, which I love. It's got pocket. It's quite long. I don't know if you can see lengthwise. It comes down to sort of thigh length, and it's actually reversible. So it's got like a khaki brown inside to it, and you can reverse the jacket and wear either the khaki brown side or the navy side. And it's got the little Isabel Marant logo on the back here. I tried it on. They only had one in store. It was reduced from £550 to £340, I think. They didn't have the 20% off in Isabel Marant, so the £340 was the price that I paid for it. But I just love it. I've worn it already a number of times, and I've had loads of compliments on it. It keeps me really warm, but it actually makes me feel really put together and stylish, even if you're just wearing leggings and a t-shirt or leggings and a jumper underneath. So that was my birthday present to myself, and that was £340. I then popped into Loewe. I had a Loewe vest or t-shirt on my wish list, and they also do some really nice pieces in terms of knits and bags. We popped in there. They didn't have a great selection. They still had a lot of what I would call summer stuff, which is obviously not what I'm buying for at the moment. So if you wanted vest dresses, they had a lot of those in stock. They did have a really nice knit, which I was drawn to, but again, it was sort of, I didn't want to pay that price for it, but I did really like it. They had some good bags. They didn't have any that I wanted to purchase, but they did have some good options. And they had a few interesting pieces, but just nothing that I was in the market for. So didn't pick up anything in Loewe, but it was great to have a look around. We also popped into Chloe. We had a look at the shoes. We had a look at the bags there, and they again do some really nice clothing pieces. I find Chloe to be a little bit overpriced compared to some of the other brands, and I did have a look at a couple of jackets and a few other things, but there was nothing that I wanted to purchase in Chloe. If you're in the market for some sandals, or you're in the market for any of their tote bags, then I would recommend going to Chloe because they do have some really good discounts in Bicester Village. We then went to Prada and Miu Miu, and as you know, Miu Miu has been on my wish list for a while. I really like the trainers and I really like the knits that they have, so I was hoping to have a look at some of those. They didn't have a lot that I was interested in Miu Miu. They had a couple of things. I did have a look at one bag which I was drawn to, particularly for the festive season. They had a bag that was sort of like a little bucket bag. I'll put some footage here for you, and it was embellished with lots of crystals. They told me it had come from their store in London and that it was heavily discounted. I didn't ask for the price and they didn't say, but when I looked the bag up online, I think it retails for over £2,000. I think it's about £2,100, so not something that I'm looking to purchase, but it was a beautiful bag for the festive season. I looked at some of the Prada pieces and had a good look at what they had from a Miu Miu perspective. They did have some blazers if you're interested in those, and they did have some sort of crop tops and skirts and other pieces, but just nothing that I was looking for on that day. We then popped into the White Company. This was something that featured in one of my other shopping vlogs. I love the White Company. I was looking for some pajamas. They do really lovely organic cotton pajamas, and the pajamas were discounted from, I think it was £80 to £60, and I think you could get 20% off that as well, and also robes. So I was looking for like a lighter robe, not necessarily for the winter but for the summer and spring month. They didn't have anything in my size. I was looking for a large, and they tended to have lots of mediums and lots of extra larges but nothing in a large, so I didn't pick up any pajamas. And I was also looking for cashmere socks. They had a few woolen socks but they didn't have anything in cashmere that I could see, but the store was beautiful. They had some really lovely pieces and they had some good discounts as well. I next stopped at Anina Bing and I was looking for a blazer in there. I can't remember what the blazer is, but I've got a black blazer from Anina Bing, and I think I got that when they were putting a sale on, and I think it should have been about £500 or £600, and I think I got it for like half that. I was looking for like the olive green, sort of khaki green version of the same jacket which they had at Bicester Village, but they only had it in an extra small, and I'm a small in Anina Bing because they do their blazers quite oversized, so I couldn't pick up the blazer, although they had the exact one that I want. It just didn't fit me because it was the wrong size and I didn't want to buy something that didn't fit. They had a good discount on all of the items and there was a further 20% off as well. So if you are in the market for something from Anina Bing, it's definitely worth going. The good thing about Bicester Village as well, and particularly Anina Bing, is they have current season. So they did have some really nice pieces for the current season. Again, I'd purchased my coat by this point, my Isabel Marant jacket, and I'd also purchased my Ralph Lauren tops, so I wasn't really looking for anything else. I'd kind of ticked everything off my shopping list, but it was lovely to see the items, and the staff in there are always really welcoming. I looked in a couple of windows of places like Tod's and Stella McCartney, and they had some good pieces. I didn't go in. There wasn't anything I was really looking for, but if you like loafers or you want to get some shoes, Stella McCartney had some really nice wedges, which I was looking at through the window, and Tod's have some beautiful loafers as well. I think the Tod's loafers are around £650 usually, and you can get them discounted to about £300 at Bicester Village. We went into Bottega and I was looking for the Jodie. They didn't have any Jodie bags there. They did have a good selection of bags, and I did actually see a white tote that I sort of had a look at. I've not got a white bag, but I like the shape of this, and I'm much more into tote bags than I've ever been, so that was interesting. They had this amazing sort of cloud coat that just looked like a duvet. Again, not something I would purchase, but I really enjoyed looking at the design, and they actually had some really nice loafers, so I did have a look at those, and I saw some other loafers as well in Gucci. I'd seen the Chanel loafers when we went to London, so it was just interesting to compare the different styles. They were all very similar. They all had the big buckles. They all had colours like khaki, olive green, black and burgundy, which tend to be the colours of the season. So it was just nice to compare the different loafer styles and the prices as well. Bottega also do some really nice knits, so I did see a couple of knits that were really beautiful. They didn't really have anything else that I was looking for. I went into Max Mara and I love their coats. I'd been desperate to try on a teddy coat and also one of their more classic camel coats. I managed to find both in my size. The teddy coat was in like a green, dark forest green or khaki green colour. So it wouldn't be the colour that I would go for, but I just wanted to try it on for size because it's been something I've been thinking about. It's not on my wish list, but it's definitely been a coat that's quite iconic and one that I think, oh, maybe if I found one at a good price, I would be tempted to go for. Having tried it on though, it's now not something that I'm interested in purchasing. What I've realised with the teddy coats is the sleeves come up quite short. I've got quite long arms and it just looked a little bit short in the arm for me. It's also quite bulky, so it didn't really flatter me in terms of shape. I think it's a beautiful coat. It was lovely and warm and it was heavily discounted. I only saw a handful of them in the store, but they definitely did have them if you're interested, so it's worth having a look. But I did fall in love with the camel coat that I tried on. I think the coat retailed for close to £1,000, but it was marked down to £550. And had I not bought my jacket from Isabel Marant, I may have been tempted to get that. It was in a size 12 that I tried on. It fitted me really nicely. I love the style of it and it's a very classic piece. So I am actually thinking about going back at some point and maybe seeing if I can find that same coat, because I think it would be a really good investment. I then went into Burberry because I've also been really interested in the Burberry coats. It was nice to compare the Max Mara and the Burberry. I much prefer the Max Mara coats. Quality was better from my perspective and much more classic fit. I tried on two coats in Burberry. One was like a hooded sort of wool coat, and it had the Burberry lining, and then I tried on a jacket which was sort of more for autumn, I guess, than winter. Both were really nice. I have to be really careful with camel because it doesn't suit my skin tone all of the time, and similarly with beige. So the tone of the Max Mara coat was much better against my skin tone than both of the Burberry coats, unfortunately. The Burberry coats were heavily discounted, and again, they weren't something that I was interested in. I just tried them on for size and because I kind of like the style, but it's not something that I'll be purchasing anytime soon. We then went into Gucci, and I had for a while really liked this knit cardigan that they had. It's reversible, it's got the big G print on it for Gucci. It is a little bit out there, and I'm not sure now I'm into that much logo, but they did have a lovely pink and grey one that was really heavily discounted. I think it was about £900, which wasn't too bad for that actual cardigan. And they also had some really lovely loafers, which I had a good look at as well. And I really do like the loafer trend that's in at the moment, but again, I couldn't justify the price. But the cardigan was a really good deal because I think they retail for about £1,500 and it was reduced to about £900. We didn't go into Dior because, as usual, there was a massive queue, and actually there was nothing that I was looking for from Dior. It's not a designer that I've kind of gravitated to that much. I do like a couple of their tote bags, but I saw a few of them in London and I kind of took them off my wish list because they weren't actually that nice in person. They didn't really fit what I wanted, but I did have a look in the windows and I've put some footage here for you. We then went to Celine, and there was this lovely bomber jacket in Celine, which I got some footage of, and also a lovely handbag. I'll put some footage in here for you. I really like the Triomphe logo on the Celine bags, and it was a coated canvas bag and it was perfect crossbody. So again, good prices on all of these things, good discounts, but not something that I was looking for. Celine handbags are beautiful, but I actually prefer Louis Vuitton, sort of YSL and Bottega at the moment, and Goyard rather than Celine. And the final shop that we went to was YSL. I've been on the hunt for a YSL blazer for some time now. It is on my wish list. They are very expensive though. They retail for about £2,500. I wouldn't pay that for a blazer, but because I'm in the market for a nice blazer, it was something I wanted to see when I was at Bicester. They didn't have that many. They had a couple. They had one in black and they had one checked version. Neither were in my size, but I did have a good look around YSL and they've got some beautiful pieces. It does tend to be a little bit more expensive, but if you are in the market for a nice coat or a nice dress or evening wear, blazers, shoes, that type of thing, they've got a really good selection. Actually, I think it's probably one of the best stocked shops in Bicester Village from the designer side of things. They had some really nice shoes as well, which I had a look at, and of course they've got a good range of handbags, but I didn't find the blazer that I was looking for, so I will keep looking for that, and I will probably go back to Bicester Village just before Christmas and have another look to see if they've had any new stock come in. So that was my Bicester Village trip. I'm really pleased with what I bought from Ralph Lauren. I had some great discounts there. My husband also got a load of clothes as well, and he got some really good discounts, which he was pleased with, and we got some gifts gifts for family members as well. I love my jacket from Isabel Marant. That was my birthday gift to myself, so I'm really pleased with the money I spent on that. And we were just about within budget. I think in total I spent about £600. So I had budgeted 500 for myself, so I went over by £100, but I was happy with that. And I also got some money from my family for my birthday, so I can put that money towards the purchases that I made. So actually we were within budget. I had an amazing time. I love Bicester Village. Definitely going to go back there again before Christmas to see what else they've got in. Bicester is such a good place to browse. It's a really nice atmosphere. I always go there with a budget in mind. I never go there without a budget, and I always have a list of things that I want to purchase. If something isn't on my wish list or on my list, I won't purchase it, and I get a real sense of achievement by going there and sticking to that budget. So please do shop mindfully. Please do write yourself a little wish list and create a budget for yourself. If you want more ideas on how to do that, you can check out my other videos. But thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.